Let's talk about it then. So number 10, you already on the list, Jason? You on it? You seen number
I'm
10?
pulling it up right now. Let's see.
Yeah.
It is.
We on it?
Yep.
Ben Shapiro's terrible list of the 10 most. Oh no, this is a good. Okay, thank you, Far Out. We love you. Ben Shapiro's terrible list of the 10 most overrated directors. Number
Thank
10,
you. Yay.
Ridley Scott. English
Wow.
filmmaker Ridley Scott is recognized by many as one of the pioneers of the science fiction genre. Hypothetically responsible for the creation of masterpieces like Alien and Blade Runner, he is known for the construction of impeccable cinematic atmospheres and the use of special visual styles, resulting in pure sci-fi magic. Okay, so odd praise for Ridley Scott. That's interesting.
I
I
think that's
really.
just written by the person. I think
Oh,
that's just written by the writer, and
no,
then
you're right. You're right. You're right. I was reading in my Ben Shapiro voice. Shapiro's blasphemous and downright laughable insights, including stating that Alien is slow and G.I. Jane is hysterically terrible. Scott is a key player in the rise of the infernal shaky cam, which is not only biologically inaccurate.
that's something you would say.
One of Ben Shapiro's points is shaky cam is not biologically
Is
inaccurate.
your eyes don't shake when you look at something? Yes,
Yeah,
so
the
true,
bracket.
so true, King.
You just for bodily movements, but incredibly annoying. Speak for yourself, King. I think it's improved certain action scenes. For that alone, he should be exiled to a land without cameras.
Yeah, I'd have to disagree. Ridley Scott is probably, I mean, he's one of the most prominent directors of the last 45 years for a reason.
Yeah, this just makes me think he has a vendetta against Ridley Scott because he hates shaky cam.
I think it's also because Ridley Scott is very much one of those people that doesn't give a fuck about like I
Yeah.
mean he is obviously a very liberal man
Oh
and he
yeah.
does not give he's one
Also
of those
true.
people who's like
Yeah.
just does not give a single shit if he will tell you that you're wrong to your face. So that's why I
Yeah.
think he probably hates him because he's very outgoing about his ideas and views.
I'm glad you brought that out because I'm pretty sure Ridley Scott is a feminist, or like at least
Yeah.
has made movies with
Thelma and
female,
Louise.
powerful female characters. Stuff Thelma and Louise, Lost You. He's got Alien. There's a lot of movies,
Yeah.
and
House of
I
Gucci.
House of Gucci. Nah, House of Gucci, Girl Boss Cinema. So I guess I can see why Ben Shapiro hits him. Okay, number 9 is Michael Mann. This is just one of his things for saying, what do you call it? Like you were mentioning, because he wants to be cool, right? He wants to be cool.
Yeah, he wants to
Yeah.
be like Michael Mann. Shit, man.
However, let's read the blurb what the person said before we read his. Michael Mann's influence on the crime genre is undeniable, inspiring newer generations of filmmakers with brilliant films like Heat. He's been named as one of the greatest directors of his time by publications like Sight and Sound as well as Entertainment Weekly. I think Michael Mann is one of the pioneers of cinema. He's made Collateral, he's made Heat, he's made Thief, he's made Miami Vice, the show as well
Yeah, I
as the
actually
movie.
got to watch Thief
Yeah.
what on Thursday because my because my school does the weekly cinema study screenings and my professor shout out to you Nathan Holmes
Shout out Nathan.
he picked Thief and we got to it was pretty good. The one thing I noticed same thing whenever I watched The Insider in my film and journalism class last semester was I feel like his cinematography Michael Mann's cinematography is always like 10 years ahead of its time. Like
Yes.
every time I look at his film like whenever I looked at The Insider, it's from the late '90s. I was like, this looks like a mid 2000s film, like with the how like advanced. And then same thing with Thief. I'm like, this looks like something out of the '90s. Like it doesn't. I feel like his style goes like so far ahead.
It's
It
beyond
pushes.
its artist work,
Yeah,
yeah. He's a great stylistic director, and I'd say he's definitely inspired a lot, like this article from this nice person has said.
his color grading
I,
very sexy.
however, Shapiro disagrees with the consensus and refuses to explain why, except with a reductive statement of all style, no substance. In a visual art form like cinema, style is a major part of the substance, but that's probably just liberal propaganda for Mr. Shapiro.
Yeah, how do what is it? How do you watch something like The Insider and say it's all style? Like that movie is literally so plot driven. It's just but it just also happens to have really good style in there too. Like
Yeah.
it's a perfect balance. I mean, a lot of his films are like that. Like they have the style, but there's like a plot to them, a very in-depth plot. It's not like there's nothing going on.
Okay, so I found the actual Ben Shapiro listing. It's on the archive. It's even got a little picture of Benny with the little fringe going. So I'll be reading those from now on. But thank you, Far Out Magazine, for having this. And Far Out Magazine was right. All he said was all style, no substance. That's all he said. All style, no substance. Next up is David Lean. David Lean has directed Doctor Zhivago, Lawrence of Arabia, The Bridge of the River Kwai, and all that stuff.
I feel like
Every
that's one of those directors that nobody really watches, but
Okay,
I
nobody
think
does.
everybody knows because
Yeah.
of Lawrence of Arabia, Bridge on the River
Mm,
Kwai. Like I feel like that's he's too popular to say his shit. Like that's
yeah.
just it's just not.
Everything Lean made is too long by at least half an hour. Yeah, but no shit, Benny. That was kind of the trend of the
Yeah,
era of when he
50s
was
and
making
60s Hollywood
movies.
is literally just big budget historical pieces. Like
Yeah,
that's
they're all very slow paced. I wouldn't say you can criticize one director for just going with the times. Okay, next up is Darren Aronofsky. Aronofsky is a talentless dude who has bamboozled his way into Hollywood upper echelon. Every film he's ever made is a disaster. Pie is a jumble of nonsense that starts nowhere and goes nowhere. It may be the worst film ever made. Watching it made me want to rip out my own retinas, then replace them through surgery, then rip them out again. Of late, Aronofsky has been spicing up his chaotic, disordered crap with explicit lesbian sex scenes.
Oh yeah,
He's
that definitely had him fucking
he
fuming.
yeah, he's talking about Black Swan here, right? He probably hates Black Swan. A stylistic trait he already cribbed from David Lynch. Don't worry, we'll get to Lynch shortly. Requiem for a Dream is noteworthy only in that Aronofsky somehow convinced Jennifer. Oh, of course, he loves talking about sex. This Ben Shapiro and why he hates it. Let me just skim through that. The fanboy press is already agog over rumors that his newest ode to depravity, Black Swan, will feature his sex. He loves sex, as Ben Shapiro.
Yeah.
Clearly, his target audience is pathetic losers in college dorms looking for an excuse to watch girl on girl action in the name of art. That's two different things, Benny. Not one of his films, that's like two completely different stereotypes. Not one of his films has been a major commercial success, yet somehow someone keeps giving him money.
It's
That's
funny
funny.
because little
Black
little does he
Swan,
know Black Swan ends up
yeah,
being a huge movie. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's enough to make one question the existence of a beneficent god. So what this is saying is Benny doesn't really care to analyze the movies he watches, and instead will just blame someone
Yeah,
for
if
nothing.
something he doesn't like is in it, like any type of LGBTQ representation,
Oh
all of a
yeah.
sudden it has to be the worst movie ever made. Like he
Mm.
cannot accept the fact that that might be in a movie.
Okay, next one is Mike Nichols, and I agree with him because fuck you, Joaquin.
But the one thing I don't understand about this is who the
Mm.
hell's out here really praising Mike
Mike
Nichols so
Nichols.
much?
Yeah, everybody knows
Like,
Mike Nichols is a good director.
yeah,
Nobody
but
says
nobody
anything.
who
Yeah.
has ever put him on the same
Mm.
tier as like Michael Mann or Aronofsky
No,
ever. Like
nobody.
that's
Mike Nichols is great, but like that's what people talk about, and that's it. Like he directed The Graduate, which is good. He directed some other good movies. I wouldn't say he's overrated. Like nobody
yeah, nobody
really
who's
talks about.
overrating him. That's what I
Yeah,
don't understand.
Ben Shapiro, he just doesn't want to think at all. He doesn't want to interpret
No, he
movies.
wants the movie to be like as MAGA and over the top, like Clint Eastwood shooting a
Yeah,
bunch of people,
he
being like, "Oh
yeah
man, I'm
he wants
amazing."
he wants Clint Eastwood to shoot a bunch of man, get the woman, film a straight sex scene, and then Clint Eastwood's money be like movie like, haha, I got the money that I need at the start of the movie. Wink.
And we can't forget this like I feel like when we talk about this, Ben Shapiro is making his own film. Like let's not forget. So I just want to remember all these directors whenever he makes his movie because I just want to compare all their fantastic works to whatever shit he's gonna produce.
David Lynch, pure and absolute suckage. John Nolte calls Lynch's Mulholland Drive mesmerizing, sexy, frightening.
I feel like any director like I think Ben Shapiro is so has such a high ego for his own like knowledge and stuff that anytime a director makes him think and he can't figure out what's going on,
Oh,
he's
he
like
gets it.
it must be pretentious because I'm too smart for this. Like I feel like he thinks he's smarter than every director. It's kind of sad.
Ben Shapiro definitely bragged to his friends because he didn't need the ending of Inception explained to him.
Yeah, he's like I understood Inception on the first watch. Nolan, top director.
Quentin Tarantino, number four. I recently watched Inglourious Basterds, a marvel at Tarantino's skill, but he is a gifted high school child given a camera for his birthday and entranced with his knowledge of cinema, which means, in simple terms, he doesn't know how to tell a story. His films are Wagnerian, long periods of boredom and artistic violence, punctuated by moments of utter brilliance. To
Doesn't know how to
paraphrase,
tell a story. Some of his I mean his
I
films are some of the most entertaining stories of the past 30
he
years.
he's literally a screenplay man. That's how people describe him. People who hate him and love him describe him as a screenplay boy, don't they, Jason?
Yeah.
To
So to say
paraphrase,
he's I don't
yeah.
understand that.
To paraphrase William Mac, he literally made Once Upon a Time in Hollywood work. To paraphrase William McAdoo and Warren G. Harding, Tarantino's films are like an army moving over a landscape in search of an idea. Sometimes Tarantino's films are actually capture a struggling thought and bear it triumphantly a prisoner until the idea dies of servitude and overwork. I wouldn't say they die of servitude and overwork because all his movies end in a massive chaotic scene of
Yeah, his third acts are
confusion.
always like build-ups to like, you know, it's not like
Yeah,
he ever like subverts you by being like, nope, this is randomly the end. Like he builds up, or even in a film like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where nothing, not nothing, but it's very chill for 2 hours. All of a sudden, the
Yeah.
last 30 minutes becomes fucking insane.
God, Martin Scorsese. In the musical Damn Yankees, a group of hapless baseball players sing the following lyric: "You've got to have heart. All you really need is heart." Martin Scorsese never saw that musical. You gotta have heart. All you really need is heart. He made Mean Streets, Goodfellas, Irishman. He, uh, he's made a lot of movies where one of the core points is about family and kind of disowning that family and screwing up for it. He's got a
Shapiro
lot of
claimed that Taxi Driver is perhaps the most overrated film in Hollywood history, a dreary, grungy, and sub-zero. Like, does he not realize that that's supposed to be a reflection of 1970s New York? I don't understand what he likes in movies. He complains that some directors are too focused on art, and then other directors are too focused on grossness, like killing. Like, what
yeah.
that I don't get it.
I don't get what you like. He said The Last Temptation of Christ is baffling. And number one, of course, is Alfred Hitchcock, which I feel like a lot of these hipsters and Ben Shapiro heads do. They like to name Alfred Hitchcock as the most overrated director because he's
Yeah,
such a
I feel
popular
like
director that it's so
it's
easy to do.
because he is like before I even cared about film, I knew who everybody knows who Alfred Hitchcock. That name alone is
Yeah.
literally probably the most famous director of all time. Like I don't think it's even close. And I mean, I just don't believe you could say he's overrated. You could say that you just don't appreciate his films, but that's like I hate to be pretentious and like a gatekeeper, but if you say you don't like Alfred Hitchcock, you're just wrong. Like I'm
Yeah, it's
like
like so
his films
stupid.
his films are literally the most influential
He
American
pioneered.
Hollywood. Yeah, he pioneered
Yeah,
the suspense genre. Or not pioneered, but he made the suspense genre what it is. Without him, we don't have 90% of those thrillers we have today.
exactly. He's not even close to the worst in the list, but he's certainly the most overrated. But he's number one here, Benny. He never made a great film.
Yes, true. Alfred Hitchcock, zero good movies ever.
He was the Stephen King of the silver screen. What good? He made films with great premises, but he never knew where to go from there. The psychoanalysis at the end of Psycho is laughable. This list is laughable. Oh God, is there anything they've quoted on the Far Out magazine, Jason? Because it's just embarrassing.
They quoted Shapiro said, "If you want to see good Hitchcock, rent Alfred Hitchcock Presents. Restricted to the 1 hour medium, he's at his best. Left to his own devices, he's slightly better than mediocre." Yeah.
And then he ends by saying, "Whom would you nominate?" So what do we think of this list, Jason?
This has to be one of the worst lists I've ever. This has to be one of the most Republican lists I've ever seen, where he just picks everybody who has any type of like talent, but just happens
Yeah.
to be like liberal, and so he freaks the fuck out and is like, "No, can't be good."
I'm pretty sure even Republicans would hate the fact that Tarantino's on this list.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so fucking confused by this list. It's a bunch of random directors, most that pioneered a certain thing and don't really get called out on anything, and another few that are very popular, but he doesn't exactly give claims on why he doesn't exactly.
Yeah, I feel like that's it. A lot of his thing is just like I don't like them because they like or they're too artistic, but he doesn't really say anything beyond that. Like, what the hell are you trying to tell us, man?
Yeah.
And I like how his excuse is the film was boring. Like, bro, maybe you just don't. Maybe you're just not meant to be watching movies if every film you watch is boring to you.
But yeah, this was Ben Shapiro in January 19th, 2010, or whenever this came out, but that's what it
I wonder
says
what
on
his
Wayback
top 10
Machine.
would be now. I'm very curious.
What would his top 10 be right now? I hope he does an update of this. It will
Should
probably
do an
be
update real quick.
Sophia Coppola.
Too female for him. It would just be 10 female directors.
That's what I was going to say. And yeah, that's the end of the
screw you, Ben
video.
Shapiro.
Like and comment if you want more videos like this.
Yeah, if we could find other random, people that have shit on people that we like, and then we'll go hate on them. So
Heck, we could even react to videos and shit.
yeah, if you want us to continue to hate because we're haters, we will continue to do so. Just tell us in the comments.
Peace.